Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Maazi Ezeoke speaking to us this evening. I just want to do a quick one, and I hope that every one of us that is listening to me this evening is fine and is all right. So, it is customary to this channel. Please, can you give me a thumbs up and let me know where you are watching me from? If you're watching me from, most of you are in Europe, so it would be nice to know where you are watching me from. I would much appreciate that. Just put in your location on the chat box. Give the video a thumbs up. That means like the video, subscribe to this channel if you haven't, and share the video. So this evening, as the title suggests, I would be looking at a man who was shot in Enugu, literally shot in Enugu. I read his story. It sounded unbelievable. Until I watched the BBC clip, the BBC book clip and I heard from him when he said that, and I thought to myself, you see, the reason why we wouldn't stop talking when such ills befall people we don't know, when such ill befall any one of us, is that as long as those that perpetrate such acts haven't stopped, then we can't stop talking. As the Igbo adage would say, when the butterfly learns to fly without perching, the hunter must learn to shoot without aiming, which in Igbo means because the level of injustice is mind-boggling. It's one of those things that the more I think about it, the more it hurts me. The more I keep asking myself, why can't we as a people just have an equitable society where people are treated fair and right? I mean, is it something too big to demand? Many of you in the diaspora know that even when you do not live in a country that is yours, or what we call the fatherland, but it appears you are being treated better, with the exception of maybe America, where the color of our skin almost amounts to death sentence if you have any encounter with the police. But sadly, in this case, and it beats me silly to note that a fellow human could just have his life cut short by those that ought to protect him. It is indeed sad. When I say this, it is indeed sad, and it is indeed sad. Now, what I will do this evening is to play us this video where this individual, has this issue that has been in this way. I'll quickly play us this so that we understand, obviously, what is happening. Okay. So quickly, I will do that just right away. Hold on. Let me just see if I can change my audio source. Okay. So I think many of us are. Before I do that, so that people don't ask me questions, if I could start afresh again, so maybe we hold off a little bit before we can start. And like I said at the beginning, please, if you haven't liked the video, please do, and give the video a thumbs up, and let us look at this evening the video here. So here we have this video of an individual. When you listen to this story, it is an unbelievable story.
Barbara Melbabu, Mchore Tana Street, a church, then further the man, an army man, Kona Chundi Mados to scare them away.
So this
India
is
Danikuri, Ochibahana.
so this is the guy. Okay, let me give a background to this story, so that might help so many of us to understand what is happening. Now, this guy, on the day the Emene incident happened, he was about going to the church, and he saw people running. They said it was IPOB running, and in the course of that running, he had gunshots. He dodged, and the Nigerian police security accosted him. Like joke, he was shot. And rather than apologize to him for mistaken identity and for being shot, they chained him in the hospital. So I want us to actually listen to his own story. So we guys, we can see where, when we talk about this level of injustice, that is mind-boggling. Now let me, play his story now. This is in Igbo, but I will endeavor to do, translation. I will pause it from time to time in order to give clarifications for my non-Igbo viewers to understand what is happening. Let me play that again.
Street. Then what was on street already? More Barbara Melbabu, Mchore Tana Street, a church, then further the man, an army man, Kona Chundi Mados to scare them away. India Danikuri, Ochibahana Street. Then,
okay, for those of you who do not understand Igbo, what he said is, on that fateful Sunday, on his way to church, he saw people running helter-skelter, and an army man, in his words, accosted him. Right? An army man accosted him.
Orch was on a street already. More feeling, or Boazi straight. Then more no woman that dodger, Jozuna Akokumoto. Non a street mama. Kunweke Gaffeta, Mobno on Archie, come on.
So when people were running, he hid beside a parked car, obviously, and with the intention that, okay, maybe as people were running, so that he can stay there, and when they go past, he can go to the church. I mean, he was only going to the church.
Babem, Ganodrum, Kana figures church. So the man I put me about some come out. They say I him address to go to church. What is it? Now I say him wherever I could.
You see, so when the army man came to him, asked him, what is it? He asked, what have I done? And the army man just used the butt of the gun and on his head. That's
So one now colleague here say, leave the boy, let's go. When you come up, put your hat on our back. Yaman make on a turn back or Bame no.
Look,
do is there shout.
And the colleague came over, said, leave this young man, let's go, leave this young man. He was about leaving and just turned quickly, shot at him.
The young buff would also buff main road
and ran away after he's done that. So that's the environment where the airport, those houses near the airport that were demolished in Emene.
Before Madam Henemen, Ozimba Batam Rebenopa. Can't put noise carries Ebenin, Maros from hospital. A could me the hospital. Not that was that hospital, the man or the hospital, the doctor. Chiguza hospital. Then the doctor, I'm patient here from company. I back I want to take another treatment. So they now open the hospital. Everyone about new treatment. So but there was so much noise that the remember one Bendu policeman maybe one port to make a half one never the non came inside. So not the hospital. Where Mando police da pareba one. Ya for cham some sorry. I know Yana Chaton back. Then in the evening, another group of police people now came again. Night, and I'm with my ID card. So now I my generator too. Man, after my work in Emene, onye kpọm na Fonjeruaria Jen ya bụ ọrụ m for 2 years and I have my certificate in my house. The police and ndị nurse that they should take care of me. So ha nawazia otaka nọzọ on 25th as na refers into orthopedic. Then another police people from Emene biazia na ha chere ibuga m orthopedic and say ha for what purpose as na.
So now, so for us to get clarity on this story, at this point, when after he was shot, he said he worked with Emene in Enugu, and he was moved from the Chigozie hospital to the orthopedic hospital in Enugu, right? So that we follow the sequence of his story. The sequence of his story.
Say Hanamahaga with that Namadiso as my brother. Then I now call my brother, one of my brother restaurant, Habrum Gawa side, seaside to see commissioners. As now commissioners have with them. I say now borrow a bank and Costriga not orthopedic. Then they now take me to that place. So member chas reba. Mona do veteran bandu police. Some na Chineke mumaya that ọbụna undercover nje tọọ mama n'ụlọ ka na-agbajiri m ọkpụkpụ na-emerụrụ m arụ ebe ọzọ na chukwu mmụmụ anya nsị ha oke mụ na ha mekwa change of number ha nawa. Then later on tomorrow echi ya bụ 26 one of them Henry bụ after the policeman as I take him now as my IPO bịa tinye m chen n'ọkpa ebe nọ ndị doctor samaro ndị nurse samaro one security boy bụ ihe kpọtara the security boy amaro bịa gosi ebe no weftaza chen na akpa tie m n'ọkpa move then the doctor bịa bawaziamba why did tie m chen n'ọkpa chọwa.
Now, you see how the story is progressing. From being an innocent man who was shot, call it by mistake, call it an act of wickedness, now moving from Chigozie Hospital to the orthopedic hospital. Suddenly, the case is beginning to twist. Rather than the security agents apologizing for the injustice they have done to him by shooting him, one thing they are now trying to do is to rope him in to something that he has no connection in. That is to show you how evil the system can be. Now let's continue.
The guy after us, the chief security officers had their bawamba. Kunya as number soldier ka abiapo ka wo free, but the guy boy before be eba nanche ga surgery operation up mkpo abia wo from China. So that I see team and na jack reason send go many tests. Kedi him mer. Ne soro m no tundu nu na acho. Na onwe kwani utozo nso onwe kwani ihe ọjọọ ọzọ na-eme. Send the chere say ya jụọ esem na my street. Jondo mam na mesoro no dike ha. Nne m nwaanyị abụrụkwa m onye amarụkwa m ha ndị ogbe m ma ọfụma dịka nwa Chineke dịka ezigbo mmadụ makwa ihe m na-eme mara ọrụ rine na mana na-arụ generator na generator mechanic mana na-arụ ọrụ na Emene. So ha ma m azin onye na-esoro n'ihe a na-akwa afa as no by IPP kwa IB I don't know what they call it. Emego m operation ugboro na abụ nke eto na enwere m ego njem ya.
He's been operated upon 2 times. The third one is about to happen. He no longer has the money too.
Ụlọọgwụ nọ na spend 200,000 n'ụlọọgwụ ịta na kịta ma ndị na-enyere m aka mana kịta onwezi onye mgbe m bịara n'ọgwụ ọfụ ka m na-afụcha ndị enyemaka mana kịta onwere ozi onye na-abịa ihe nna gwa ndị mmadụ maka enyemaka bụ ka ha jewekwa ga gwa ndị tinyere m ihe a n'ọkpa na mesorokwa na ndị a na-achọ ka abịa wefukwa m ihe a n'ọkpa and sụgwakwa ha abịa take care of me ka ndị mma ego spend a ga-akwụ ya back ebitachara m ego ebita mechaa call enwe ndị ebitachara ego to pay to add money on it ka e wee zọwagodi m so ndị ebitachara ego na a ga-akwụ ha the money back so na ọ taa ka nsi wee nọrọ ebe a na achọchago m ebe ọzọ m ga-ebite ego ka ama ma ga-enyekwara m aka ka m gakwa anọda sọjiri n'ọkpa m afrọ m.
See, so now this is the background to the story. So let's get something clear here, people. So this young man, it's good to give this background. So this young man basically was shot. Call it an act of cowardice by a Nigerian soldier on the date that we had the incident in Emene where IPOB and or rather where the police invaded where IPOB had their meetings. And as it happened, for some of you who just joined, you can start afresh eventually to get a grip and watch the video as well, watch his own testimony. And as this happened, this young man was shot, taken to the hospital, Chigozie private hospital, where he said he attends in Emene as well, and eventually taken to orthopedic hospital. Now, the reason why I started flagging this up is that appears to be a conspiracy now on his head. Suddenly, everybody is denying that he was never chained, but that's the reason why I played the video. You can see him in chains there. That orthopedic hospital is even saying, one of their statements saying that they don't know who chained him. And I'm like, it's in your hospital, it's in the orthopedic hospital Enugu. So how can a man you saw who was chained on the bed in the hospital, how can it be that we don't know who chained him? Was he chained by a ghost? You can see the level of injustice that is happening within the system, and that the system is not working, that the system is so full of injustice happening everywhere. And it's hard to actually think that in this day and age that something like this will be happening, and those in authority and those that ought to speak up are all keeping quiet. Why should we all keep quiet? We can't keep quiet. I don't know him, but having watched his video on BBC Igbo, it really touched me that I decided, I'll use the opportunity to lend my voice to say, Emmanuel Lani, I believe is his name, must, the chain on him must be removed. The chain that the Nigerian police, currently having on him must be removed, because it is sad that a man who did nothing, someone who is on his way to the church on the said date, would have his legs, you shot his leg, then one is, one of the leg that wasn't shot, you basically, occupy that own leg by just chaining that leg to the bed so that he doesn't do what? He has given you his ID card, you know where he works. He said he's not a member of the group you're chasing after. He is basically an innocent citizen going to work on that day. And actually, the police initially apologized for the mistake. The police initially apologized that, one of them telling him you should thank your stars that, this didn't hit you where, rather in the bones. But from being sorry to a point now that you suddenly begin to now say, okay, you will be chained. I mean, what manner of injustice is that? Because sometimes when I look at these things, it really gets me creepy. How can we be treating people? How can we be treating those that we are paid to protect? Those that buy the uniform, those that we wake up every single day to go to work to protect, are the same people that we now, use the same bullet that, obviously is for protection, are the individuals that we now hurt with the ammunitions that was given to you for the protection of life and properties of the citizens. It's an absurdity. It's an absurd situation. And this is, it is injustice. And that injustice is what we intend to fight. That injustice is what I am speaking against. Because yes, it is not you and I. It is no. It can sound far fetched from us today, but that doesn't mean it is far fetched from us. Because from his own narration that he was just about to go to church, any one of us could be going to church or could be going somewhere else. It doesn't necessarily need to, the location is indifferent. But here you have a human being shot and taken to hospital. He catters and he pays the bill with his own money. With his own money. Then you go there, you still put chain on him. Now you're trying to twist the story that he's part of those that you have proscribed. And I look at this and I read these. And suddenly, the moment orthopedic hospital started denying that no one is on the bed. No one is on the bed there. No one is. And I was like, hold on, people. How can that be that no one is on the bed here? When I saw that, I thought to myself, no, something is not right. Something is not right. And that's why I had to actually, immediately I saw that and I said to myself, it's good to raise alarm now that something silly and cynical is about happening than to keep quiet. Because why would the orthopedic hospital be denying that they never chained him? That is my question. Why would orthopedic hospital be denying that they never chained him? Yeah? Why would orthopedic hospital be denying that they never chained him? But he is being chained. We can see that. I'm trying to get us a campaign poster that we've done for him where he is being chained. He is being chained on the bed. On the bed, hospital bed, he's been chained like a common criminal. A man that now, if it were to be a society where things work, those that were behind this shooting, talk less of the chaining alone, should be the ones running helter-skelter, trying to settle out of court. But here we are, no one is even bothering to do anything or to ask any question on his own behalf, aside that many of us, or a couple of us, have taken it upon ourselves to start demanding justice for him. And I say once more, my people, it is an aberration that something like this will be happening in this time and age. It is an aberration indeed. It is an aberration. How can something like this be happening? And everyone is keeping quiet. I'd expected, a serious conference, a press conference from the Nigerian police to publicly apologize for this incident. One is the shooting, the other is the chaining. But it appears no one is interested in that. And the people are just going about their normal businesses as nothing happened. So, honestly, it's really heartbreaking. But we will keep, I will keep following the story. If anything changes, I would also keep updating us on this story. On that note, I will say thank you very much for joining me on this a brief live broadcast. I remain yours and only, Maazi Ezeoke. Once more, I am signing off.